Hello guys and welcome back again by a new crypto daily update video. Today we're gonna discuss all these charts because the opportunities are so big right now. After Trump announced the tariffs on Europe again, we saw a drop in the market, but this is such a big chance to scale into positions and we're gonna dive right away into it right now. First of all, Trump announced 50% tariffs on Europe yesterday, and that was when we saw the drop towards the downside. But which is pretty good to see that we were ranging here for a pretty long time. It was pretty annoying, but after that, we broke out towards the upside and set a new all-time high. What is the best thing you could do here is retest that top side of the range because um, people stepped in here a lot and test that back you clear this whole range with price action, so that's pretty good to see. And we saw exactly a drop towards the top range and some movement towards the upside, so that's pretty good to see. Now we can also make this line make it green again because this was resistance, but we flipped it into support right here. Also, we have some support on the lower side, so if we do break down, we can find support on the lower side of the range. But this is pretty good to see that we broke out of this range, retested this, and now it's time to build back momentum up towards the upside. So this is a pretty nice chart. Then here, what we can see is that the total 2 market cap is at a resistance point and we are reacting and rejecting from it pretty heavily here. What we want to see, of course, is a break towards the upside, a retest like we saw here before, to get more momentum towards the upside, because now it seems like we have such like a double top here and we can break it if we break above it. But if we don't see a break above, we can anticipate this as a double top, and then is this the neckline. So it's pretty important to hold on to this level. If we don't do it, I think the total 2 market cap will drop further towards these levels. But for now, it's important to watch what we will do at this resistance zone and get back up here, and what we will do around these levels. Then the USDT dominance, it's pretty important chart here because we broke down of it, which was a pretty good sign here, because the USDT dominance, you obviously want to see that it will go down. We broke it and exactly retested it right here after the tariff announcement from Trump. So this is also like we did here. It's good if you break out if you break out a range. It's a very bullish sign to retest it before going down. So that's exactly what we see on the USDT dominance. We retested it, so now we can expect downwards movement on the USDT dominance, which will surge to a money flow into the total market. So that means Bitcoin and altcoins as well. So that's a pretty good sign. And if money flows into these assets, obviously we will have a surge towards the upside on these coins. So this is a very important chart to look at, and we are rejecting right now, so it's pretty good. You obviously want to go down even more, so this low is a pretty important one to break to get continuation towards the downside and continuation towards the upside on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the other altcoins. Then again, which is also a pretty bullish sign, we saw here we have the old all-time high right here and right here. After that, we saw that dump towards the downside, and we obviously broke above it this week. But this was resistance in the past, but now we have flipped it into support, and this one is a very big support because it started to move towards the downside here. So it's a pretty good level to look out for, and we are respecting it right now, so that's a pretty bullish sign. This was also what I was looking for, because gaining your old all-time high and retesting it and build it support on it is a pretty good sign, because it's pretty strong here. If we do break towards the downside, we can expect also some upwards momentum from the second green zone I've drawn here. It's the lower side of this range here. where we also can find some support. I don't think that we will go under it, but if we do so, we can also expect some movement right here. But for now, we will watch this zone. I hope it will get supported. If we don't, we watch at the other levels. These are both two zones you can look for a trade. I think maybe this trade is gone already because if you look for the chart, I think this was your chance on a retest to get into the market. But yeah, it's a pretty good zone and a pretty good sign to retest your old all-time high and get supported by it because you're flipping your resistance into your big resistance into big support here. So also in the future, if we got a drop, then it will be a very good point to look out for. So pretty bullish sign um, for Bitcoin here. Then it's obviously it's weekend, and what we see here is the Bitcoin volatility index. Yeah, if you look for this week, we didn't saw a really big spike in the volatility index like these kind of spikes. So that's also a sign that it was a yeah pretty calm week here. But you can see right now that we are dumping. So that means that the further we dump towards the downside, I think we will go towards these levels. Yeah, the market doesn't really move again, and there isn't much volatility and also not much volume. So that could sign for a sideways market or even a big pump or dump market, because if there's less volume in the market, you can pump and dump the market way easier. So yeah, it's pretty important to know that the volatility index is going down. So it will be a slower market. So yeah, please keep in mind this chart. Then also on Bitcoin, what we can see is that we have some downwards momentum on the RSI for a pretty long time here. And yeah, it's kind of like we created a triangle here and some support and resistance zones. Because every time we touch the top side, we went or either sideways or went down. Look at this. We went to the top side and we went sideways. We went to the lower side here and we moved up. We went to the top side again here and we went sideways. We went to the lower side here and we went upways, and we got rejected again here, and we got a rejection as well. And now we're currently sitting at the lower side. And if we look at the past, that causes a pump here, that causes a pump there, and that will cause a pump here as well. If we get supported by this triangle and this trend line here. So that's also a pretty good sign. Of course, there will be a squeeze anytime soon, so or either towards the upside or towards the downside. And I think then, if that happens, the volatility kicks in very fast. So for now, yeah, we're just supporting on it, and we can expect some upwards momentum. Of course, we can also look out for this red line above, because that will also act as resistance when we tap it. So please keep that in mind. If we do so, you can take some profits and wait for a little pullback or rejection there. Then the liquidation heat map. As we can see right here, there was a lot of liquidations right here, and that's a pretty good sign because we pumped above all-time highs, and I think everyone was so bullish and opening trades like they can walk on water. But yeah, of course that isn't the case. So it's pretty important to liquidate those people, and that is exactly what we did right here. But we also see that we have some liquidity sitting below these lows, and we didn't took that out. I was looking at the charts yesterday, and I already mentioned this liquidity zone, and I really hope this wick will wick this one out. So yeah, that was a pretty good sign. If we saw that, then we will go up even further, because I don't know, it's not looking that nice that we have such a liquidity zone below our low here. So yeah, that's something you want to keep in mind. because yeah, it can be taken out, and that means we also break our low again, and we maybe flip structure because we have a higher high, a higher low, and then we make a lower high and a lower low again. So I wouldn't be yeah, confused if it happened, but yeah, I rather saw a wick towards the downs to liquidate those people than what we did right now. But yeah, we'll see how that play out. Then also on the Ethereum Bitcoin chart, which is a pretty important chart for altcoin season and altcoins as well. As we can see, we saw a big surge towards the upside. I think everyone saw that. But for now, we are going sideways and creating momentum towards either the upside or towards the downside. So for now, if you look at the top side, we have resistance right here. And if we look at the lower side, we get supported by it. So that means that we can expect either here some support and here some resistance till we see a pretty significant move towards the upside or downside. How can we play on this? If we break the top side, we can wait for a retest to step into all our altcoins, because that means that altcoins and especially Ethereum will pump pretty hard. And if we break the lower side, our support, we can expect Bitcoin will get more momentum towards the upside. So exciting to see what will happen on this chart right here and what we can expect from Ethereum against Bitcoin and altcoins, of course. So please keep this chart in mind because it's a pretty important chart to look out for. Then also, if we look at the chart that signifies the ETF Ethereum Bitcoin total holdings ratio, we can see here, this is the Ethereum Bitcoin price ratio. So that's the chart we looked at, yeah, the previous one. We saw a price surge, but what we saw here is that everyone was in Bitcoin ETFs and no one was actually in Ethereum ETFs. We saw this pump towards the upside, and this purple line here is the Ethereum ETF inflow against Bitcoin. So we saw a massive surge here, and that means that people either swap their Bitcoin ETFs into Ethereum ETFs, which is a pretty good sign. And this also signifies that people are more interesting, getting more interested in the ETF from Ethereum than Bitcoin, which could cause, for of course, a big pump towards the upside on Ethereum and altcoins as well. So it's a pretty good sign for Ethereum here, and I think yeah, Ethereum is pretty bullish and alt season is around the corner. So prepare for that one. Then this was it for today's video, and if you want to make sure to miss nothing again in the crypto market, I'm posting daily, hourly on X. So if you want to never miss a move again, then please make sure to follow me over there. You can also follow me on this YouTube channel, of course, to get every day a daily update. So please make sure to follow me over on X. I also discuss trade setups there and open trades there. So please make sure to follow me over there, and of course on YouTube for the daily update videos. And I will see you tomorrow again by a new update video.